It's time for Braves baseball once again from Turner Field in Atlanta. Game 2 of our weekend series between the homestanding Braves and their rivals in the East, the Florida Marlins. All year long, Braves baseball on Peachtree TV and Fox Sports South is being presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the low price. Hi again, friends. Joe and Chip back at the ballpark. Great start to the series. Atlanta won 5-0 last night. Dan Uggla a big hit. Let's see if Tim Hudson can be a big hit. He takes the ball in Game 2.
Let's hope he can continue his good ways. I know he lost his last time out, but his last 7 starts, he's gone 4-1, and that one loss was at the beginning of this homestand to the Pirates, but he got 0 runs to work with while he was in the ball game. But in recent days, Tim Hudson, his last 4 starts, has pitched at least 7 innings, so he's pitching great ball right now.
Let's hope he can continue that and frustrate Jack McKeon. He's the venerable skipper of the Florida Marlins. His managerial career began way back in 1964 here in Atlanta. We'll talk to Trader Jack about that and more in just a moment. Let's take you back, Jack McKeon, to the summer of 1964 as the manager of the Atlanta Crackers.
What a year. Oh, it was a tough year. We didn't have a very good ball club that year, and I just survived for about half a year. But it was fun being in Atlanta and, playing at old Ponce de Leon and working for the people that we worked for here. But the fans were great. I mean, I met so many good people in Atlanta in those years, and I still are friends with some of them.
Your memories of Ponce de Leon Park aside, did you think Atlanta was going to be a major league city in 1964?
Well, you never knew, and then they came over here and got the new stadium, and then Milwaukee moved here. But I thought it had the potential to be a big league city. The same thing I did with Denver when I was out there. I thought Denver definitely had the ability to be a major league city.
And Kansas City and Oakland and on we go.
Yeah, I made them all.
You have made them all. Let's talk about your ball club. Interim manager, you've been down this road before. Of course, the World Championship with the Marlins in 2003. What's different about this 2011 experience?
Well, and there's nothing different. You know, this is the fourth or fifth club I've taken over in mid-season, so I'm kind of familiar with doing it in mid-season. But this club here is a good club. It's a young club. It's not as talented or experienced as the 2003 team. But, you know, the potential is here. See, we just got to mold that and maybe make an addition here or there. And I think this club will be a very strong contender in the years to come.
60-some-odd years in professional baseball. How does a man who's been around as long as you have connect with 20-year-old Generation X players?
Well, that question's asked all the time. You got to remember, I managed 17 years in the minor leagues, and I've handled 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old kids throughout my career. I've had 2 boys and 9 grandkids that, you know, I have been having you know, generation gap talks with, and so I think I can handle that situation. I think the biggest thing is that maybe I'm a little bit old school, and I believe in a little bit of discipline, where players have to discipline themselves, and I think we sort of have got away from that. You know, hey, let them do what they want. Oh, they're hitting good, don't bother them. But, you know, I don't go for mediocrity.
I know birthdays are fun. I know Christmas is fun. I know New Year is fun. New Year's Day is fun. But July 31st for you is always a special day. What's it like being a general manager 24 to 48 hours before the deadline?
Well, it's exciting, really. And if you got talent that you can move, and it depends on where your club is. If you're in a position to be a contender, you're a buyer. If you're not, then you're a seller. But, you know, I was just talking a while ago with Jim Bowden. He was general manager when I was managing the Reds, and we used to sit this day around the hotel rooms wheeling and dealing with players, and it was exciting, you know. We made some great deals those days, and I think you can make some great deals today. But it's a little different today, Chip, because of the money factor. And you got involved in a lot of money and long-term contracts that makes it a little bit more difficult to make moves like we did years ago.
Well, Trader Jack, baseball is a better place with you in a Major League dugout. Welcome back to Atlanta. Hope it's a semi-happy homecoming for the old Atlanta Cracker.
Well, we're hoping to have a nice homecoming, but anyway, this has always been a tough place for me. So hopefully the Braves will, consider me coming back at this age and, feel sorry for me a little bit.
No AARP discounts in Major League Baseball. That's Jack McKeon, the fine skipper of the Florida Marlins. Game 2 of the series coming right up. Season didn't start the way Dan Ugla hoped, but beginning 20 games ago, he's been nothing short of terrific. Dan Uggla has the major's longest hitting streak at 20 games, and he's hit .342 with 7 homers and 15 RBIs in that stretch. And last night, with the Braves again playing with a depleted lineup, Dan saved the day with a 3-run blast in the 7th against his former team, the Marlins. It's the dog days of summer, and no one's hotter than Dan Uggla. The Braves look to ride his bat to another win tonight against Florida. And we do indeed welcome you back to Turner Field for Game 2 of this 3-game weekend series with the Braves and the Florida Marlins. And there he is, the longest hitting streak working in Major League Baseball.
Well, he has stepped up definitely at a time where the Braves have needed him the most, Chip, with both McCann and Chipper out of the lineup.
And Uggla and the Braves will take on this Marlins batting order presented by Suzuki and their skipper Jack McKeon. Emilio Bonifacio's 26-game hitting streak was interrupted last night. Always have to be careful with the trio of Sanchez, Ramirez, and Morrison. Oh, by the way, Mike Stanton, add him too. He's hit 24 home runs and is the Florida Marlins right fielder.
Tim Hudson's on the mound for the Braves, though. 36 years old, 6'1", 175 out of Columbus, Georgia. If he can get through the first inning, you'd like his chances. He's given up 16 runs in the first inning out of the total of 58 he's allowed all year. He pitched against the Marlins here back on April 13th, and it was a loss. Only went 6 innings, but he is 9-4 lifetime against the Fish. Hopefully that will increase to 10 wins tonight, and his regular season numbers will increase to 10 wins.
First pitch of the night is a strike called by Fielden Culbreth. The home plate umpire, Lance Barksdale, Gary Cederstrom, and Adrian Johnson along the base paths. Up the middle. Bonifacio hitless in the series. Good start for Tim Hudson. Braves will be on their toes again with this Marlins club. Eric Kinski made what might have been a momentum-changing catch in left field last night. Jose Constanza in center again. Regular alignment along the infield. David Ross in harness working again with Tim Hudson.
Hudson's last start against Pittsburgh, 7 innings, 5 hits, only 3 runs, but got beat 3-1.
It was a real weird game for Tim. 3 walks and they all scored in that ball game. Infante, 2 quick strikes. The Braves have done a great job of keeping this man under control. Infante, 2 hits in 29 at bats against Braves pitching. Constanza frozen for a moment. And 2 outs. It's turned out to be a nice night for baseball. Heavy thunder showers throughout the metro Atlanta area for much of the day. Hot, sticky weather. You see the humidity at 82%. The temperature is 80. And a strong breeze blowing from left to right across the diamond tonight. Gabby Sanchez with 16 homers and a .287 average. The Braves might be seeing him at a good time.
Coming off a hamstring injury that kept him out of the lineup for a time. Had one of their 3 hits last night. Braves combined on a 3-hit shutout. Team's 10th shutout of the year.
High fly left center. Constanza on the run, tracks it down. Tim Hudson threw 8 pitches, all of them strikes, and he gets the Marlins in order in the top of the first inning at home. Out of the top half of the first inning, he'll see the first pitches of the night from Anibal Sanchez. He leads off this Suzuki starting lineup for the Braves. Big night for him, his major league debut. Freeman and Ugla, two red-hot hitting streaks, and Eric Hinske, as we mentioned, a terrific defensive play against tonight's start in left.
Anibal Sanchez, a good pitcher, 27 years old, 6 feet, a solid 205 out of Martin Prado's hometown of Maracay in Venezuela. His last 5, you see he has struggled a bit, 0-2 over that stretch, and he's actually gone 8 starts without a win, and that's the longest stretch in his career without a W.
Ground ball right side. And that's fielded at second by Omar Infante. And Constanza is out number 1. The Marlins line up with Stanton, Cameron, and Logan Morrison from right to left in the outfield. Sanchez, Infante, Hanley Ramirez, Emilio Bonifacio at third. John Buck back behind the plate.
Sanchez 4-7 against the Braves in his career, has not pitched against them this year, but against Atlanta just 1-4 over his last 6 starts against them.
Ball 1 to Martin Prado. Martin had 3 singles last night. He has a 4-game hit streak. We've talked about Martin and the timing that he's going to need to regain to get back to doing what he did before injury. Are you seeing signs that that's well in progress?
Yeah, last night especially, he tomahawked a high fastball. His first time up, went the other way late in the game. It's funny part about that swing last night we talked about and had a good time with, when he slapped one to right field when he was falling backwards. I think that was in the 8th inning. But there's more to that story.
Little flare into shallow center, but Mike Cameron makes the play for the second out.
Here's the base hit. Now you'll watch Martin. He's leaning backwards, falling backwards out of the box right here. And he's still got a base hit, but watch up close. He's calling timeout. He was wanting timeout and never got it from the umpire, and didn't want to take his hand off the bat to signal. So most of that weight being back on his heels was because he was trying to get out of there. Great pickup by our camera operators and people in the truck. Well done.
Our SunTrust solid performer is Freddie Freeman.
4 straight multi-hit games. 11 for 19. And he's hitting 13 straight overall. That is solid. You and I all year long, Chip, have talked about his great defense and how we could foresee in his future a Gold Glove perhaps with his good work, especially as his reputation spreads about his good defensive work. I had a scout tell me today that he thinks there might be a batting title in his future too, because he thinks he's that good.
Sanchez paints the inside corner. Freddie wasn't too sure about that. And a 1-2-3 inning retires the Braves in the first. We move along to the second. Hanley Ramirez will lead things off for the Marlins. Ball is brought to you in part by Academy Sports and Outdoors, by AT&T, by KFC, and by Hyundai. Joe and Chip back with you in Atlanta. We head to the second inning where Hanley Ramirez faces off with Tim Hudson. Loved your story about Jack McKeon and Hanley Ramirez after Jack took over for Edwin Rodriguez as the Florida skipper. As he will ground out to the third baseman Martin Prado, and Freeman off the bag applies the tag.
Well, the bottom line is that Jack expects the same from everybody, and that's your maximum effort for you to always be on time and ready to play. And if you don't show up on time, or if you miss a meeting, especially the first one he had with the team, it's not a good way to get started.
Here's Morrison. Logan last night walked twice, struck out twice. Has knocked in 26 of his 56 runs in the month of July. That's a tie for the top RBI output for the Marlins in a month. And he's 0 for 1. Hudson set down the first 5 Marlins he's faced, and he's done that on 12 pitches. Here's Stanton.
Breaking ball, but left it a little high.
That one had some bite to it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Stanton, for all of his power, all of his potential, does strike out a lot. 111 times so far this year. But if this man squares up a baseball, he can hit it a country mile. Not that time, though. Hudson blows him away. 19 pitches for Hudson through 2 scoreless innings in Atlanta.
customer satisfaction nationwide for 6 straight years. Experience all the comfort and amenities you expect at an unexpectedly low price. Jameson Inn. Live large, pay less.
With our fine producer Joe Vincius and my partner Joe Simpson, easy for me to say, Chip Carey back at the ballpark where Dan Ugla goes to work first. Scoreless game.
What's that all about?
I'm sorry.
Our fine producer and my partner.
My fine partner.
Little late.
Just upset that I got the answer to the cap challenge wrong in between innings. Bitter. Dan skies one to center. Cameron going back. On the warning track, puts it away for out number 1.
When Dan started this streak, he was hitting 173. That was in Colorado, or against Colorado, July 4th. And since then, he's raised his average 23 points coming into the game tonight. Went 2 for 2 on July 5th to get it going.
Here's Eric Hinsky. Braves were raving about his catch last night. They thought that was an extremely important play in the game. Came off the bat of Mike Cameron after Mike Stanton had doubled. If Eric doesn't make that play, Florida scores the first run of the night.
Certainly appreciated by Brandon Beachy.
Under the glove of Sanchez and into the right field corner. Little trouble out there for Stanton, but no further advance. Eric Hinsky has the game's first base hit. A double with 1 out.
Fastball didn't have much on it, didn't have a lot of movement. You come in on Eric, you better have a little something else for him. Gabby Sanchez, I think, is very good around the bag at first base. Good feet, good hands, but I would say his reactions and his range aren't as good as some first basemen.
But by percentage.
And I say that knowing that he has the top fielding percentage of any first baseman in the National League.
That's our Sunshine House leaderboard. And David Ross in the batter's box down a quick strike.
He's made 3 errors. Freddie Freeman, by contrast, has made 5.
That would tie David up, and Sanchez has his second strikeout.
The numbers this year for both Sanchez and Tim Hudson are strikingly similar, except in one category, and that's strikeouts. Hudson 134 innings coming in, Sanchez 132. 117 hits allowed by Hudson, 125 for Sanchez, 55 runs for Sanchez, 58 for Tim. But strikeouts is the difference. 99 for Tim coming in, 138 for Anibal.
Hayward, a fly ball to shallow right, but Stanton is there, and that retires the side. The Braves waste an Eric Hinsky double in the second, and we go to the third scoreless. Score between the Braves and the Florida Marlins. A great week of baseball here in Atlanta, and in a couple of weeks a great sporting event will take place again. For the third time, the Atlanta Athletic Club will play host to the PGA Championship August 8th through the 14th. One of 5 clubs to host 3 PGA Championships, and 2 of the men that will help bring the tournament to Atlanta are here. Tom Adderhold, the general chairman of the 93rd PGA Tournament, and Rick Anderson, the director of golf at Atlanta Athletic Club. Fellas, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great seats.
Guess you guys have a little tournament going on in a week or so up at AAC.
About 10 days.
Y'all ready for it?
We are. And fortunately, you know, we've been blessed. Tiger has announced that barring any injuries, he'll be here for the tournament. Ticket sales have spiked because of that. And, you know, Tiger brings out a lot of people.
Funny how that works, huh?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Mike Cameron's the batter for the Marlins, and he rips a shot toward left center field. See if the Braves can cut it off and hold him to 1. He's trying for 2. Hinsky's throw late, and Mike Cameron doubles to start the Florida third. First question, how's the course handle all this hot weather we've been having in the South?
Course is in absolute immaculate shape. Ken Mangum, our golf course superintendent, director of grounds, just has done a great job. Stuart Sink was out there a couple days ago, said it's the best golf course, best conditions that he's seen. Said the greens are right on the verge of being too fast. So,
which I know you guys love, right?
We do. And but it is in immaculate shape, and our staff has done a great job.
John Buck's the batter for Florida. Let's see if he can move Cameron up 90 feet with nobody out. The pitcher, Anibal Sanchez, is next. You mentioned that Tiger's going to be appearing. Anybody else who's won a major? Will those fellows be coming to play in the tournament?
I think most of the guys that Rory McIlroy, Darren Clark, Trevor Immelman, all of the major winners over the last few years, even going back as far as John Daly, you know, which has been a good while ago.
Sure.
They're all qualified, you know, to play in the tournament. So we're looking forward. Normally the PGA has 98 to 100 of the top 100 players in the world in the field. We have, 156?
156 players starting on Thursday morning.
Wow.
20 of them are club professionals from around the world. So, you know, it's a very diverse field and very tremendous field.
And speaking of a tremendous, Rick, a great honor, as we showed on that graphic a moment ago, the third time the Atlanta Athletic Club has hosted the PGA. That has not happened but 5 times in the history of the event.
It is. Our facility is absolutely one of the top places, venues to have a major championship. And we did it in 1981 and came back in 2001. And then here we are in 2011. But I think each time the relationship between the Atlanta Athletic Club and the PGA of America is strengthened. And I think we've just had great championships there, exciting tournaments. And this one coming up is going to be really unique, I think.
Yeah, you mentioned Tiger coming back to be a part of that field. Did some research on the tournament. Larry Nelson won the 81 tournament, a local favorite, and big crowd, big fan support, and a great finish. He beat Fuzzy Zeller that year.
We had Larry out a couple months ago. Came out. We had a special day for Larry. Played with his 2 kids. Just, you know, very small type deal. Jim Huber did a deal that was probably been on whatever all this modern day stuff is, you know.
Sure.
But and I think he's going to play this year. He's you know, we sort of put a little pressure on him and ask him to play, but he said, you know, it's a pretty tough golf course. So.
I was going to say, after Larry Nelson's 81 win, 2001, David Toms won and set the record for the lowest stroke total, 15 under par. Have you toughened up the course so you won't see any of those red numbers?
Yes.
What have you guys done?
Well, Martin Keimer was there, a month ago? 6 weeks ago?
June.
Yeah.
Part of June.
And
pop up right side. Freddie Freeman foul ground near the tarp, makes a basket catch. And fires a strike to the cutoff man for the first out. Good play. Buck can't advance Cameron. Didn't mean to interrupt.
No problem. Martin's a pretty good player, of course, and he thought single digits under par would be the deal. Yeah.
So what's going to be faster, putting on those greens or trying to putt on our table here at the ballpark?
About the same.
Perfect. Just the way we like it.
As our golf course superintendent, Ken Mangum, says, they will be tournament fast.
Perfect. Well, my partner Joe Simpson was saying a few moments ago, he's got time to play. If you guys would like to invite him to play in the tournament, he's probably ready to challenge some of those great names you talked about.
We may have to put him on the alternate list. I think there's some other guys ahead of him that would probably like to get in there first. But
well, one of them sitting a booth down, Don Sutton, I'm sure would love to have a chance to take a couple of swings at the Atlanta Athletic Club. You mentioned tickets, fellas. How do folks go about getting tickets if they're interested in attending?
PGA2011.com. That's the simplest way right there. Just go to the website, and there's still tickets available at this stage, but like Tom said, the 24-hour
Freeman doubles up Cameron.
The 24-hour period from Thursday night at 7 o'clock when it came over the Golf Channel that he was going to play at Firestone, and then to 7 o'clock the next night, we had the biggest spike in ticket sales that we've had. And we're monitoring that also today. And I think the closer it gets, and people know that Tiger's going to come, there's no doubt that they're going to keep scrambling for tickets.
Well, Rick and Tom, we appreciate it. Best of luck to you all at the Atlanta Athletic Club for the PGA Championship. Thanks for being here tonight.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
To double up Mike Cameron, and that is our Zaxby's indescribably good play. Tim Hudson moving through this Marlins lineup with a minimum of effort, getting some good defense behind him. Joe mentioned a few moments ago, Freddie's got a great chance to win a Gold Glove. That was a terrific play, and it sends the game to the bottom of our third inning. Thanks to Tom Adderhold and Rick Anderson from the Atlanta Athletic Club. And my fine partner, Joe Simpson, now back and ready to go. Whew. Alex Gonzalez dumps a single into shallow right. And that's the second Braves hit.
I just ran out to hit some balls, and that went by pretty fast.
I think I got you a spot as an alternate, though. Things are looking up.
I've been working on my wedge play, just like Alex did right there.
So again, August 8th through the 14th at the Atlanta Athletic Club, the 93rd PGA Tournament. What a wonderful event that promises to be. And Tim Hudson goes to work for the first time at the plate. And he pushes a bunt to first. Good sacrifice. His 5th of the year. Gonzalez in scoring position with 1 out in the top of the order.
No, the announcement that Tiger's going to play.
Yep.
That's all good stuff for the Atlanta Athletic Club and the tournament and the city of Atlanta. That's all good stuff. Just to complement and round out the field.
Let's see if Jose Constanza can make it 2 RBIs in as many major league games. He rolled out to first in the first for Atlanta. Broken bat. Funny hop. Hanley Ramirez handles and gets him by a step. That little guy can fly. But he's 0 for 2.
Can't have step after you field a ground ball. You better glove it and get rid of it. A little bit of an in-between hop here stopped Hanley's momentum, and then a crow hop. Causes it to be a close play.
Martin Prado popped out his first time up. Let's see if he can knock in a 2-out run.
Yeah, get Tim a run to work with. Got no run support his last start. Give him a little bit of an edge. Martin's had the upper hand on his fellow Maracay Aragua Venezuela native.
One 0 Atlanta.
And that makes him 7 for 21 against him in his career. The timing's coming back, Chip, and a lot of it has to do with that pitch right there. When he first came back, he was a little tentative about it, a little inside out on the high pitch, and now he's on top of it.
Sanchez makes a mistake that costs him a run. And faces Freddie Freeman, who took a called third strike his first time up.
Go homer. There you go. No more rooting. No, it's a hot night.
Ground ball through the whole right side for Freeman. And he's got a 14-game hitting streak now. And it's the 3rd Braves hit of the inning.
When you watch Freddie Freeman hit, folks, one of the things you notice is how he takes advantage of different situations. And he doesn't really try to pull the ball that much unless he gets a pitch that he can handle that way. You just saw him foul one off a screamer to the left side. But with them holding Martin on over there, if they give him something inside, he's very comfortable just pulling the ground ball through the hole and taking his base hit.
So one streak continues. Let's see if Dan Uggla can move his to 21 games. He flies to center his first time up. High towering fly ball left center. Track wall. Gone.
It is dancing Bobcat time right here. He is one hot dude.
home runs during a 21-game hitting streak. And his 20th home run all of a sudden for the season. And a 4-run Atlanta third. All of this damage coming with 2 men out.
Outstanding. Up to 47 ribbies. That's what he talked about. Can't look at my average. I got to think about production.
And he is producing. The Dan Uggla Show, a repeat performance. A 3-run homer last night, a 3-run homer tonight. This one comes in the 3rd inning, and it gives Tim Hudson a 4-0 lead as we head to the 4th inning. And all your long Braves baseball on Peachtree TV and Fox Sports South is being presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors, the right stuff and the low price.
I said something about giving Tim Hudson an edge, even with 1 run, but you give him 4 runs. Thank you very much. He's got an incredible run on that.
Tim's thrown 29 pitches and he's gone through 3 innings.
139 and 2, and you give him a lead of 3 runs or more when he's in the game.
Would that qualify as dancing Bobcat hot too?
That's a different kind of hot. That's more long-term, kind of a brewing, smoldering hot. That's not really dancing Bobcat area.
Just wanted to clarify. 2 balls and a strike to Bonifacio.
Dancing Bobcat hot is more this volcanic type hot that Uggla's on right now.
If he keeps swinging like that, it's going to be a fun final 2 months. Bonifacio with a 4-run lead, full count. And he will start a new hitting streak with a single up the middle. We invite you to join us for the Braves Hall of Fame luncheon at the Omni Hotel as we induct legendary Braves skipper Bobby Cox into the Braves Hall of Fame. Reserve your tickets today for this historic event and have lunch with current and former Braves players. Call 404-614-2310 today.
Yeah, you'll have a current or former Brave player coach, maybe even the skipper, Freddie Gonzalez, sitting with you.
Can't think of a more fitting inductee than Bobby Cox. As number 6 will be retired at the ballpark on August 12th. The Cubs will be in town. That'll be a festive atmosphere as Hudson starts a 1-6-3 double play. He's doing it all tonight. Second double play in as many innings.
First couple of innings, he breezed through them, Chip, but he only had a couple of ground ball outs, a lot of fly ball outs, which for Tim, that's a little surprising and maybe a little bit of a red flag. But now that he's got the lead, you're going to see a lot of ground balls because he can pitch differently.
Here's Sanchez. Gabby popped out his first time.
No runs to work with. He might be a little more careful, trying to work the corners a little more. With this lead, he can pound the strike zone a little harder with that sinker and get him and pitch to contact more and get him to hit it at people.
That's deflected off the glove of Prado and may have clipped Gonzalez on the way by into left field. And Gabby Sanchez has a 2-out single.
Alex immediately reached up and either touched his nose or lip like that, brushed him as it went by. Good try here by Martin, but off his glove. And almost got Alex in the face.
That brings Hanley Ramirez to the plate for the second time. Part of that story we were mentioning about Jack McKeon and Ramirez. Jack said to Hanley, "You want to be the man? Fine, be the man. Hit cleanup." And he's hit a whole lot better than that 243 average since moving into the number 4 spot for the Marlins.
28 RBIs in his last 40 games.
One ball, one strike.
Locked him up, threw in that breaking ball, threw it at him and froze him, and then he's had it drop right in there for a pretty strike.
High fly ball to right. Jason Hayward is there. Tim Hudson still has a 4-0 lead. Bottom of the inning and order coming up. Bench. Atlanta leads 4-0 as you see our Academy Sports and Outdoors game summary.
Long ball. 3-run homers each of the last 2 nights. Gotta love those. Braves are 41-11 when they score first. It's always a good sign.
David Ross starts things off. And he tries to dump one behind first. Gabby Sanchez makes a basket catch, and a beauty it was.
This is a real hard play. First basemen don't get challenged like this very often. But running with his back to the infield. Nice play. And it would have been a base hit if it dropped.
Strikes to Jason Hayward, who popped out to right his first time up. And now he'll ground out to second. Alex Gonzalez led off the 3rd inning with a single. Tim Hudson sacrificed him. Stanza grounded out to short. Then Prado, Freeman, and Uglo all tallied 2-out hits. The Braves scored 4 times. Uglo's homered the big blow. That went into left, and Logan Morrison plays it on a hop.
Boy, I know Logan's a first baseman by trade. He had to take several steps to make sure he played that one on a hop. Especially with 2 out in the inning and the pitcher up next, you could take a chance on one of these if you think you got a shot at it, but he had to give ground there, make sure he got a good hop. And Alex appreciates it.
His bat's starting to liven up a bit. That's 6 hits in his last 13 at bats. And at the very least, it clears the pitcher. But this pitcher, Tim Hudson's got a hot streak going too.
Not only that, he's doing it with a pretty bat. He's got a really nice flame treated, nicely stained bat. Get a bat looks that good, you want to make sure you hit it on the sweet spot and not break it.
Well, you have 4 hits in your last 8 at bats. You're going to get nice bats, aren't you?
He's on a roll with damage, with an RBI.
Cut. Tim stays alive. 1 ball, 2 strikes. He's trying to chase down his 10th win. 2.
What do you think, Chip?
A guy that has a bat like that, they're never called out on a check swing.
I think he caught a break.
Now Sanchez has run the count full. Alex will get a chance to do some running. And a roller toward third. Bonifacio the toss across. That'll retire the side, and this game moves to the 5th. Braves in command again. They're shutting out the Marlins again. Fifth inning, and Tim Hudson cruising merrily along for the Braves, firing a 3-hitter, much to the delight of our McDonald's fans of the game.
A lot of face painting going on here right before school gets back in session, and I am liking it. Showing their colors. It's great.
Great crowd tonight, too. Braves drew 36,000 last night for fireworks. Might have that many tonight. A lot of seats in the upper deck are filled up, and they've seen a good ball game pitched by right-hander Tim Hudson. Logan Morrison, Mike Stanton, Mike Cameron coming up.
This Marlins team was on a hot streak when they came in. They'd won 5 in a row. They were averaging right at 5 runs a game. They got 3 hits last night, and they have 3 tonight so far. And double plays have wiped those hits out in the last 2 innings.
Jack McKeon's hope in the series was to get his Marlins above 500. They have to win tonight to have a chance to do that against the Braves. Morrison is frozen at the knees. Second strikeout for Tim Hudson tonight. And the leadoff man down for the Marlins in the 5th. Delta Airlines, a proud sponsor of the Atlanta Braves. We'll be off on our Delta charter after the game tomorrow afternoon. We head to Washington, New York, and then down to Miami to play the Marlins. Slow roller left side. Martine's got it. And Mike Cameron's the hitter. Mike out of LaGrange, Georgia. Has had a terrific major league career, a wonderfully talented defensive center fielder. Interesting story on Mike. Was a big time baseball star at his high school, but wasn't allowed to play high school his junior year. His grandmother said, "You flunked chemistry, can't play."
But that got his attention.
He's an important guy for a young team, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a great character guy and has been there, done that with just about every type of situation, and knows only one way to play. I think the situation in Boston was such that he wasn't getting enough playing time, and for a guy that's a veteran, I mean, I know that doesn't sound right, but he's much better when he plays every day. His numbers will be better. He's not used to playing once every 5 or 6 days.
And he's playing in place of Chris Coughlin, who's got a knee problem. Don't know when he'll be back with the big club.
Well, a knee problem and a swing problem. He wasn't hitting anything either. He was on his way to AAA.
Hudson strikes out Cameron. Boy, he's pitching a beauty tonight. 57 pitches through 5 innings, and more importantly, a 4-0 lead. His second home run in as many games, a 3-run shot, gives the Braves a 4-0 lead. And as we head to the bottom of this 5th inning, it's time for our Home Depot know-how question of the game.
Comes from Jonathan in Augusta, Georgia, who wants to know, are players still able to be traded after the July 31st deadline? And the answer is absolutely, Jonathan. They can be, but it's not as freewheeling as it is right now. Right now, no player has to go through waivers for a trade. If you make a trade after the deadline, the player has to be basically offered to other teams first before the trade can be consummated with another team. And those waivers are done in inverse order. So that player has to be offered up to a last place team, the next to last, and so far up the ladder. And those teams have to pass on him before you can then trade him to the team you want to trade him to.
And the trade deadline, 4 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow afternoon. As Costanza behind 0-2. One deal announced today. Texas Rangers got some bullpen help. A lot of folks have them after Heath Bell of San Diego. They get Koji Uehara from the Orioles for Chris Davis and Tommy Hunter.
I think at this point, when you're a team like Baltimore, any extra players, if you get 2 players or 3 players for 2, I think you're going a long way to making your club better. There's a chance that one of those guys might improve your club over who you have.
Arizona's a team that's trying to catch the Braves in the wild card chase. And the Diamondbacks picked up a real important guy today. Jason Marquis, the former Brave, 8-5 in 20 starts with the Nationals. Washington gets young infielder Zachary Walters today.
Walters got some pretty good numbers, but that is an excellent pickup, I think, for Arizona. Put Jason right in the middle of their rotation. Of course, they're on the heels of the Braves in the wild card right now, too. There you see that.
Washington also traded Jerry Hairston Jr. to Milwaukee. And with the trades of Marquis and Hairston, save anywhere from $3.5 to $4 million off their payroll, as well as getting the young players back.
They're hot after Denard Span, too, from Minnesota. And the offering has been either Drew Storen or Tyler Clippard.
Martina, slow roller, tough play. Bonifacio on the run, not in time. Prado legs out a hit.
You know, as good a hitter as Martin is, and as good a season as he had last year. Oh, yes, thank you. He just doesn't get many infield hits. And probably shouldn't have there, but he'll take it.
His 28th multi-hit game of the season. Sanchez can't believe that. And now he'll have to pitch out of the stretch to Freddie Freeman. This combination worked out nicely. Freeman singled past Prado 2 innings ago. Driven to right. Freeman has a multi-hit game, and the Braves are going to have runners at first and third.
Looking at the numbers and the stats for the Atlanta Braves last night, this is something that really shocked me. We know that Dan Uggla strikes out a lot. We know that Alex Gonzalez strikes out a lot. But how about this? Did you know that Freddie Freeman just has 1 less strikeout than Dan Uggla? That really shocked me. I guess because we don't think of him going into any real long stretches of strikeouts and non-contact. Now then, if you take those strikeouts out, when he puts the ball in play, check out what his average is. 396 when he puts the ball in play. So when he hits it, it's getting in the gaps or it's finding a hole somewhere 4 out of 10 times. And as he gets more and more experience, he'll be able to cut down on those strikeouts, and as a result the average will go up, which it's been doing. I think if you looked at his strikeouts probably over the course of the year, a ton of those were in the first 2 months.
One would think.
But I was amazed that he had that many.
2 hits tonight. He'll be pushing a 300 batting average. And now Dan Uggla with 2 on, 1 out, and the Braves already enjoying a 4-0 lead.
Time for the Coors Light Cold Hard Blast, and it was from Dan Uggla his last time up. A 2-out, 3-run homer. This was after Prado had driven in a run, give the Braves a lead. This made it 4-0, and it extended Dan's hitting streak to 21 games. It's the Coors Light Cold Hard Blast.
Missed it. Dustin Pedroia and Emilio Bonifacio's hitting streaks were snapped last night. Dan's 21-game streak now the longest active hitting streak in Major League Baseball.
I think it's interesting that Anibal Sanchez is throwing over to first so much for Freddie, because you'd almost, you'd halfway encourage him to run. If he's successful, then you can walk Uggla. Changeup. Sanchez last start against the Mets, he got no decision. He went 7 innings. He gave up 11 hits to the Mets and 4 runs, but he did not walk anyone, and he struck out 8. Kind of an odd line.
Four runs, 8 hits for him allowed tonight. Buck with a good stop. Freeman a chance to run from first with 1 out and a 3-2 count. Dan swings and misses. Freeman swipes second. Second and third, 2 outs now for Eric Hinsky. They'll walk Eric, load the bases, and take their chances with David Ross. First walk of the game. And the 40th issued by Sanchez this season. 4 runs, 8 hits for the Braves. No runs, 3 hits for the Marlins. Braves keeping an eye on the Phillies score. They're beating the Pirates. That's a 3-2 game now. Hunter Pence is playing for the Phillies, batting 5th.
0 for 2.
I think Ryan Howard has homered in that game. And he also picked up his 1,000th hit for the Phillies tonight. Arizona plays out west a little later. Here's Ross.
grand slam this year came in interleague play against Baltimore on July 2nd.
Good cut. And that scattered the Marlins TV crew. Tommy Hutton was running for his life.
Well, not to mention that Rich Walls, his partner, who's standing up right now, he didn't have far to duck. Oh no, is that his computer?
I think he was more worried about the computer than his life. Downstairs, 2 balls and a strike.
See, that's why you should never have a computer on the counter. Watch the game. Don't watch your computer. Game's going on. Pay attention. Everybody listening?
2 balls and a strike.
What'd you say? Like always, really tuned in to me.
Yep. With my exceptionally fine partner. 4-0 the score. David didn't like that.
It's a big difference maker too in this at bat. Instead of 3-1, it's 2-2. Can't say it was a bad pitch. Buck made it look lower than it was the way he caught it.
And David swings and misses, and that'll retire the side. Braves load the bases in the 5th, but are unable to add to a 4-0 lead after 5. A 4-0 lead as we head to the 6th inning. We'll wrap up the series with the Marlins here tomorrow afternoon. That's our Jameson in upcoming schedule.
Tommy Hansen's pitching good baseball too. After a little bit of a stutter step right after the All-Star break, he has really put it together. Still one of the lowest batting averages against him in the National League. May still be the lowest, I'm not sure, at 208. But 11-5, having a good year.
And that's an interesting point you bring up, because it's almost like a real bad harmonic convergence for the Braves staff. You had the All-Star break. Then the Braves had to go to Colorado and Cincinnati to brief 3-game homestand, the Nationals. But it looks like the Braves starting five starting to put it back together after that disappointing road trip to Cincinnati and Colorado.
Yeah, I don't know about a harmonic convergence, but the timing wasn't real good on the whole thing. So I think they're really beginning to, get back in tune with nature. Yes, that's
all I'm trying to say. Get in touch with your sensitive side, Joe. 1 out. And Dwayne Wise will bat for Sanchez. Braves knock him out. And Joe's about to knock me out after 5 innings.
Former Brave.
Played here in 2004, 77 games, 6 homers, 17 RBIs.
Solid player, and he's had a good major league career. He's had to really fight for everything he's gotten. How much time does he have in? Right at 5 years, plus whatever he's gotten this year.
And our producer Joe Vincius reminds us he's going to be immortalized in Chicago on the South Side. He was the guy that made that incredible catch to preserve Mark Burley's perfect game. He hit the fence, bobbled the ball, landed and held on.
He was on the postseason roster for the Braves too in 2004 and went 1 for 5 against Houston. Out of Chapin, South Carolina. Now 33 years old.
Tim strikes him out. That's 4 strikeouts in the game. And it's time for our AT&T Uverse trivia question. Who's the Marlins all-time wins leader?
Wow, there's some choices there. Josh Beckett, A.J. Burnett,
Al Leiter, Kevin Brown.
Kevin Brown. Oh, bunch of good pitchers that none of them spent a lot of time in a Florida uniform, but racked up good years. All the media guides have been confiscated.
Just practicing for when Tommy gets here tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah.
Braves stopped Bonifacio's hit streak last night, but he singled in 4th tonight and guides that one over the first base bag fair. And he can really fly around second, and he stops there. 17th double for Bonifacio.
Ground ball, but it was well placed. And Freddie playing in case he bunted. Didn't have enough reaction time to flag this one down. Fair ball, landed fair, went over the bag fair. Doesn't matter if it lands foul. Good call, Lance Barksdale. Good camera work too, boys and girls.
Omar Infante bounced into a 1-6-3 double play in the 4th, and he's 0 for 2 tonight. Wonder what, if anything, the Marlins will do before the trade deadline.
I don't know. They're 14.5 out. You got to figure that there's somebody calling them about a couple of people, including Omar.
But surprisingly, I know when you're not in the broadcast booth and have your computer on the counter, you don't hear anybody talking about any of the Marlins players, really.
No. No, I wouldn't hear that because I don't ever have a computer up here on the counter.
Oh, I mean at home. Doing your research.
Uh-huh.
Big time game research.
Then it's like the Pentagon.
Base hit into center for Infante. Won't throw out Bonifacio. That's the Marlins' first hit with a runner in scoring position in the series. Quite obviously, that's because that's their first run of the series. And it trims the Atlanta lead now to 4-1.
The Braves, who have handled Omar all year long, does get a measure of revenge there with an RBI. It makes him 3 for 32 for the season against the Braves.
His 31st RBI. Gabby Sanchez, the batter. This guy's got some pop as well. Be careful. 16. Braves 4, Florida 1. And strike one.
When I was talking about Gabby Sanchez last night, that you got to have strong legs to hit the way he does. The reason I said that is because of his stance. It's hard to take the type stance he has with deep crouch in your legs and be able to hold it as long as you need to hold it, waiting for the pitcher to throw. It's a lot of tension. But he's got the ham hocks to do it.
Growing up in South Florida, Gabby Sanchez and his family owned batting cages. Really? Hour after hour after hour he spent in the cages working on this swing and stance. He dreamed of being a Marlin. Went to the University of Miami as well. He's a good player.
Yes, he is. They've got a lot of nice young players that I'm sure are not available to anybody in a trade. Young position players.
Oh, Tim thought he got the outside corner, but he got a 2-2 count instead.
Ooh. Got to make that two-seamer come back, and apparently just missed.
Wonder if David Ross is saying anything about that pitch.
Yeah.
Had him off stride, and it's popped up. Alex Gonzalez will call off Hinsky, and that will retire the side. The Marlins get a run on 2 hits, their first run of the series. Middle of the 6th, Braves 4, Florida 1.
After a double leading off the 3rd inning by Mike Cameron, John Buck pops one up down the line and over by the tarp. Freddie Freeman with a nice play right on the tarp. Nice catch. That was a Coors Light freeze cam brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. My beer.
And you know what goes good with a frosty cold Coors Light.
Probably a good Blimpie sub.
And a game summary.
There you go. Okay. Hey, check it out. Look at the A's on the Blimpie summary. Got it working tonight. Ugla and Freeman have extended their hitting streaks. Hudson just gave up his first and only run so far on the night. Martin Prado with another multi-hit game. But Dan Ugla, hotter than a dancing bobcat. I didn't see that written anywhere, though, on the Blimpie game summary. But he is.
Maybe when he comes up. He won't even put his numbers up.
Right.
So from one Sanchez to another, Annabelle is gone. Brian is in. Brian Sanchez with an S, not a Z. And this guy has given the Braves fits.
As much as their bullpen struggled last year and as improved as it has been this year, that would be the place I would think a lot of teams would be inquiring about some pieces out of their bullpen, but I don't know that Florida would be willing to break them up.
There's some talk about Leo Nunez a week ago or so. But at this point, no movement. As Hayward takes a strike. 3-1 your count. And a good start. Hayward aboard for the first time. A walk in the sixth. Let's see if the Braves can get that Marlins run right back. Hope you join us for the Braves Alumni Weekend, August 12th through the 14th against the Cubs. We'll retire Bobby Cox's number 6 jersey. That'll be on Friday night. We'll celebrate the 91 Braves' worst to first 20-year reunion.
Here's my favorite part, Ron Gant. Jump, Ronnie.
Pretty excited. We'll have a Legends game on Saturday, autographs for fans throughout the weekend, and a whole lot of wonderful memories that we hope you'll share with us here at Turner Field. Visit Braves.com/tickets or call 800-745-3000. Two-hit night for Alex. One of the dangers this time of year at the Major League Baseball trade deadline is getting all caught up in the internet rumor mill. One big name was rumored to be very close to being traded tonight. And it's someone we saw in the last 2 weeks. That was Ubaldo Jimenez. He was supposed to be traded to an American League team. That apparently isn't going to happen, at least not right now. He's taking the ball for Colorado tonight. It's a fun time, but an exasperating time, I'm sure, too.
I said it then, I'll say it again. They'd just have to get their socks knocked off with a deal to trade him, I would think, given his value over the next 2 or 3 years. Big lead for Jason.
Fly ball toward Morrison and left. Jason back to first with one out, and Tim Hudson, the batter, 0 for 1 with a sacrifice.
Might be asked to sacrifice again right here. Tough to take the bat out of the hands of a guy that's 4 for his last 9, though. And has a pretty bat.
That's the more difficult part of that. How do you know as a hitter you've got a good bat? You can don't see the grain on.
Yeah, mine was grain. I always look for white grain. That was my preference, and I think that of many hitters. If I found one that had a knot in it, it was kind of nice too. That much harder. Pretty. See how wide the lines are in the bat. That grain is separated. The more grains, the softer the wood typically is. If it's wider grain, it's harder.
Hayward's running, and a hit and run with Hudson.
There you go.
One ball, 2 strikes. I'm with you. I like the look of that bat much more than the solid colored lacquered models, the maple bats.
Yeah, I was a flame treated guy. I like the burned look.
And with 2 strikes, Hudson is able to get a bunt down. Hayward will stop at second. A 2-3 sacrifice.
Nicely done. Bat out in front of him and at the top of the strike zone. Utter confidence here with 2 strikes. Textbook stuff right there.
Great moment in the game last night came in the Atlanta 8th when Costanza picked up his first big league hit, RBI, and run. And if he can reach, Martin Prado would bat. He's the Delta Airlines on deck batter. And Martin red hot too.
Costanza's first base hit came in his last at bat last night. It also produced a run. Launched it right back through the middle. Then he went to third on a base hit by Prado and scored on a sacrifice fly by Freddie Freeman. It was the Braves as a team, their first sacrifice fly since June 21st.
That's almost hard to believe.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you, when he was going first to third, it was a bit of a blur.
Full count.
Good at bat. Laying off a couple of sinkers from Sanchez that are his best pitch. Trying to make him get one up a little bit so he can get a good swing on it. They don't want to pitch to Prado, so he'll probably get another good pitch to hit here.
Slow roller. Buck pounces, has to hurry, and throws in a dangerous position for Gabby Sanchez. But the Florida first baseman snags it, and that retires the Braves in the 6th. We head to the 7th. Braves 4, Florida 1.
Tim Hudson tonight has been economical. He has fanned a few guys. He struck out 4. Got some ground balls when he needed them. And the Braves have turned 2 double plays, including the one that he started. Good stuff for him tonight, and was given 4 runs to work with back in the 3rd inning, thanks to an RBI hit by Martin Prado with 2 out, and then a 3-run homer by Dan Uggla. That added to the lead, and that's where we stand.
He's been crisp, he's been economical, he's been effective. Just 76 pitches now for Tim Hudson as he starts inning number 7. Hanley Ramirez has grounded out and has flied softly to right.
And again, Tim has pitched at least 7 innings in each of his last 4 starts. Has 1 complete game. That was a shutout, a 1-hitter against Milwaukee back on May 4th. Great motion on that off-speed breaking ball there. Might have been a split. Ramped up his delivery a little bit.
Took a hop over Freeman's glove, and Hanley Ramirez aboard with a leadoff single.
There's another one of those funny slides. In an effort to get over in front of the baseball, going down to one knee, and granted it was a very difficult hop for Freddie. But I'm not sure why you have to go down to one knee to try to get to that one.
So that opens the door for Florida in the 7th. Logan Morrison, the batter. He's hitless in the series and struck out looking his last time up.
When Tim needs a ground ball for a potential double play, when he gets ahead of you in the count, that's when you're at his mercy the most. Throws so many different pitches with movement, and you've got to guard the plate. Unless he makes a mistake upstairs, it's hard to elevate. And he got away with that one. Tim did. Left this one up.
Stays alive. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
This is what I'm talking about. This pitch, look where it is when it's on the way to the plate. It looks roughly knee high, maybe a little below, but it's too close to take, so you're ready to hack at it, and then by the time your bat gets to the ball, it's only a few inches above the plate.
Try the outside corner. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That's where he went to get Morrison in the 5th. Didn't get the call this time. And now the count's full. Hanley Ramirez could be running.
He's in. Just didn't get enough run back to the plate.
Ramirez starts, then stops, and Morrison strikes out. Logan put up a battle, but Tim won the war.
Second time he's struck out Morrison, and on a nice changeup. Velocity is a great thing, and those pitchers that are blessed with good arms that throw hard, good for them. But it's not all about velocity. That's not the end all. You got to know how to pitch, and Tim Hudson certainly knows how to pitch.
Yeah, there are a lot of guys that have won a lot of games in the major leagues that didn't exactly light up radar guns, but have 300 wins. A couple of them pitched here. Glavine, certainly. Greg Maddux. And as a hitter, what intimidated you more? A guy that could throw 96 consistently, or a guy that could paint corners in any count?
Well, you're always, you know, you got to fight on your hands with a guy that's throwing 95, but you never were sure if he was going to throw enough strikes. So you had to be patient to make sure that you got a good pitch to hit, because he might walk the ballpark. The other guys, you knew they were going to be around the plate. And if you got one good pitch to hit each at bat, you better make the best of it, because you more than likely weren't going to get another.
Two and two to Mike Stanton. To third. Ugla double clutch. Braves still got the out of Hanley Ramirez at second, but that little bobble cost him a chance to double up Mike Stanton.
Good feed, a little bit low, and that might have been the reason for the bobble. Dan and the Braves were lucky that they got the call on the out, because that ball sprang out of there pretty quickly.
Just about any play like that is ruled a transfer.
Yeah, but did he have his foot on the bag when he caught the ball?
The old in the neighborhood. The Braves will take the out. Here's Cameron. He's doubled and struck out tonight. Not a bad idea.
Not wander too far off down there.
Breaking ball line to third. Hudson's through 7 innings. It's a 4-1 Atlanta lead. Time to stretch on a beautiful Saturday night for baseball. By the Home Depot, by Academy Sports and Outdoors, and by Georgia Power. Joe and Chip back with you at Turner Field, home half of the 7th. Braves leading by a 4-1 score behind right-hander Tim Hudson and the big booming bat of Dan Uggla, who hit another 3-run homer tonight. Back to the AT&T Ubers trivia question. Who's the Marlins' all-time wins leader?
Who are you going with?
I'm going to go with Kevin Brown.
I'm going to go Brad Penny.
Thought about him, too.
Old DW.
Darryl Waltrip?
Yeah.
Dontrell Willis, the all-time wins leader for the Marlins. He looks pretty good, by the way, when he pitched against the Braves in Cincinnati the other night.
Still got the energy, doesn't he?
Yep. And gave up just a couple of runs last time out for Cincinnati as well.
And did I hear correctly Sunday night that he's only 29? I mean, I almost found that hard to believe, but.
Yeah, I didn't hear the broadcast, but it wouldn't surprise me. Team Prado leads things off.
Dontrell with 68 wins. Ricky Nolasco, who will pitch here tomorrow afternoon, has 61. He's second. Then A.J. Burnett. Then Josh Johnson. Then Brad Penny. Johnson and Penny tied with 48. We're still looking for Kevin Brown.
Yeah, he's in Macon. Ground ball to short. High throw, and Sanchez stretches out and makes the play for the first out.
Kevin Brown tied with Carl Pavano with 33. He was only there 2 years.
But go down that list. I mean, look at the names that the Marlins have had in the brief history of that franchise. Pitch in rotation for them.
Josh Beckett 7th, then Pat Rapp, then Anibal Sanchez, Kevin Brown, Carl Pavano, Chris Volstad, Scott Olson, Al Leiter. Yep, a good bunch. Alex Fernandez. Now there's the guy that they thought was going to be the ace of their staff for 100 years, and then he got a bad arm. It's a real shame. How about this for Freddie? Second longest streak by a Braves rookie since 1946, because Johnny B. Dusty Baker had a 17-gamer in 1972. Heady stuff.
How cool is that? You're 21 years old. You're hitting third for a championship caliber club. Played great defensively, and you're hitting nearly 300. In fact, 298 to be exact. And it's almost August. That pitch fooled him, and Freeman with 2 hits and 2 strikeouts tonight.
I think that's why, at least for me, I've been fooled about how many strikeouts he actually has, because, as I said, on a night like tonight, he's got 2 hits, so you don't really think about the strikeouts, especially if there's nobody on base.
Here's Dan Ugla. He'll take a 21-game run into play tomorrow against Ricky Nolasco.
And with regard to his hitting streak, the second longest by a Braves second baseman since 1966, when the team came here. Kelly Johnson had a 22-gamer.
Hope you enjoyed our chat with Jack McKeon, the Marlins skipper. Managed at Ponce de Leon Park in 1964 for half the season. The Crackers then played the 1965 season across the street in the old ballpark.
Fifth, pretty good ball yard for a AAA team.
Yeah. Jack McKeon this season, the 5th time he's taken over a club in midseason to try to turn them around. Worked well for him in 03. Not so much in 2011. Dan Ugla down on strikes. Sanchez continues his good work against the Braves, and this game heads to the 8th. 4-1 Atlanta in front. For Tim Hudson. Boy, did he look good in this ball game. 7 innings, a run on 6 hits, and he'll give way to the powerful left arm of Johnny Venters, and it all starts with the starters.
Yeah, since the All-Star break, the first 9 games after the break, things weren't quite so pretty in those games, especially against Colorado and Cincinnati. They were a little bit ugly. 6.54 ERA. There's also those games against Washington right after the break too. But the last 7, 6 quality starts out of 7, including tonight with a 2.38 ERA. That includes Tim Hudson's work tonight. So back to normal after a little blip on the screen.
And Johnny indeed answers the AT&T call to the bullpen. He's had a nice bit of rest for the Atlanta club. Last pitched on July 26th against the Pirates.
And that's exactly what Freddie Gonzalez and Roger McDowell talked about, trying to get him some rest, more rest, the second half if they can.
John Buck. 1 out. Speaking of Braves relievers, talked to Peter Moylan before the game tonight. Peter's going to start throwing off the mound tomorrow. Now, how much effort or how many pitches he will make remains to be seen, but he's clearly beginning to make his way back to a rehab assignment and getting back with the big league club.
They're going to have to let him do it with a leash. He's so excited. They're going to have to like put a leash on him or something so that he just doesn't overdo it. He's so fired up. Remember, it wasn't arm surgery, it was back surgery.
Former Brave Wes Helms pinch hits for Sanchez in the 8th.
Another scout comment about the Braves tonight with regard to the trading deadline and what you got to do to improve your clubs and all those things. And this scout said that the Braves have something that no one else in Major League Baseball has. And that's 3 guys. No one has the quality that the Braves have in the 7th, 8th, and 9th in O'Flaherty, Venters, and Kimbrel. Nobody matches that. You've heard of teams turning games into a 6-inning game. If you don't have the lead by the 6th inning, you're in trouble. Well, that's the case, in the opinion of most people, when you face Atlanta.
And the hope is by limiting the workload of Venters and O'Flaherty and Greg Kimbrel, they'll have plenty left in the tank for late August, September, and hopefully the playoffs.
Well, and the hard thing is knowing how much is too much rest. You know, you don't want them to get rusty, and keep them sharp, but keep them ready to go in terms of health too.
Here's the appearance leaders among pitchers in the National League.
And there are those 3 guys.
Lots of close games, lots of extra inning games played by the Braves, first 110 or so. And you can't not use those guys and not try to win the games. That's the other quandary. Got a chance to win the game, you got to pitch the best guy for that particular situation. That bounces away from David Ross. And on the ball in the dirt, Wes Helms will move up 90 feet. Bonifacio is struck out for the 2nd out in the 8th.
Hard slider. Bonifacio couldn't hit it. David Ross had a hard time just blocking it and corralling it. It is a wild pitch.
Omar Infante has the lone Marlins RBI of this series. It came in the 6th inning. How do you hit that?
Well, how often do you see Omar Infante take a swing like that? And he's kind of grabbing at his side like he may have injured himself going after that slider.
David Ross took some punishment.
Hopefully not too much. Don't know if we really want to see, but we need to know where it got him. I have a feeling I know.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Okay. Enough of that. Freddie Gonzalez is the next catcher. Been there, done that for Freddie.
Still a 1-2 count.
I mean, think about it. After that, as painful as that is, it's kind of hard to put out a sign for a sinker, isn't it?
Slow roller. And a bare hand try for Ugla. He can't come up. Good that Alex backed up the play. And now Florida has runners at first and third with 2 outs. And the potential tying run will come to the plate.
I'm assuming that's going to be a base hit. Dan took a big chance here that he was going to make this play, because a little faster runner than Wes Helms is going to score on this play. But Alex was there to try to make sure he didn't.
So a little more stress for Johnny Venters. 2 on, 2 out, and Gabby Sanchez, the batter,
representing the tying run.
Gabby is 0 for 4 against Venters in his matchups.
I'm told that Ubaldo Jimenez was taken out of his game after 1 inning. See what the follow-up is to that. He got off to a bad start tonight.
Esmil Rogers was warming up behind Jimenez. And he's rumored to be headed to the Cleveland Indians, who are going for it in the American League Central. Picked up Kosuke Fukudome from the Cubs earlier in the week. And all of a sudden, Johnny Venters has to go to work here. 3 balls and a strike to a good hitter. 2 on, 2 out, 4-1 Braves game. He lost him, and the bases are loaded. Well, rest versus rust. Perhaps we're seeing some of that from Johnny. A couple of walks here in the 8th.
Certainly not sharp with his command. He's made a couple of hitters look bad on swings, but having a little trouble getting ahead in the count. And that man who wants to be the man batting cleanup is at the plate.
Great crowd tonight of 40,656. And they are hushed for the moment as Hanley Ramirez bats with the bases loaded, 2 outs. 33rd game for Ramirez in the 4th spot in the batting order.
And doing good work there. Big difference with Johnny Venters when he throws strike one. With that slider especially.
Hanley either didn't like the call or can't believe he didn't offer it that pitch.
I think he thought it was high. And there's a word for fielding Colbert.
There goes the bat, and there goes Hanley Ramirez. Venters struck him out. Florida loads the bases, cannot break through in the 8th. Brought to you in part by Delta, by Ford, and by Checkers. Hey, the Chop House is rocking tonight. 40,000 plus enjoying this ball game through 7.5. Atlanta 4, Florida 1. And the middle of the attack coming up. Hinsky, Ross, and Hayward, and they'll face left-hander Randy Choate.
This guy's having a really good year. A 1.27 ERA. Right-handers hitting .214 against him, and when you see his delivery, you'll understand why left-handers are only 7 for 60 against him with 24 strikeouts.
It looks like he's throwing the ball behind the back of a left-hand hitter.
And he's way over on the first base side of the rubber.
And we mentioned no real word on anybody from the Marlins being on the block at the deadline. If you look at the numbers that Choate has put up, a 1.27 ERA, any playoff team would be interested in having a lefty specialist like this, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I'm not sure they're really willing to break up their bullpen as good as it's been, as improved as it's been. maybe one guy out of there, but I don't know which one they would part with.
In the Marlins' mind, they perhaps still think they're in the wild card race. As Hinske crushes that ball deep right. Stanton back. Gone. There's a bolt out of the blue. 5-1 Atlanta.
First home run Choate has allowed this year to a left-handed batter, and only the second he's allowed all year. And Eric was just sitting on that breaking ball. He didn't flinch on the first one. He was just waiting on one a little bit out over the plate. First homer since the 18th of July at Colorado. Just sat on it, and Choate knew.
So Uggla and Hinske have homered tonight.
Right off the back wall there next to the bullpen gate.
I don't think you could say that Eric's got the classic, elegant left-hand hitter swing, but just looking at that replay, it's so smooth and appears to be so easy.
He gets the barrel to the ball. He gets the ball out front, but he gets the barrel on the ball. Stayed back on the breaking ball, didn't flinch, and see at the point of contact out there, right there by the Peachtree TV sign.
David Ross. And Ramirez throws him out. 1 in, 1 out in the Atlanta 8th. Jason's 0 for 2 with a walk tonight. He's popped out, grounded out. The free pass came in the 6th.
Eric had a plan when he went up there and executed it.
Jason, with good patience, walks for the 2nd straight time tonight. And Jack McKeon will go get Choate. Trader Jack goes and gets Randy Choate, who allows a home run to Eric Hinske and now a walk to Jason Hayward. Both those hitters left-handed. Jack McKeon not afraid to make a change. SunTrust, by AT&T Ubers, by McDonald's, and by Toyota. Braves add to their lead 5-1 here at Turner Field, trying to make it 2 in a row over their division rivals, the Florida Marlins. Braves blanked them last night. They've got a 4-run lead tonight as they look at Steve Cishek.
Last year, their bullpen made their manager kind of Cishek. This year, they've been a little better.
That joke made me Cishek. But I get your point.
There's 9 walks and 27 innings for Steve. And 30 strikeouts. He's a slinger. Got the stirrups working.
Are they on the right way? Marlins right-hander, drafted in 2007, a 5th-round pick. Lives in Falmouth, Massachusetts. That went all the way to the backstop.
Just a little outside.
This is the middle stop of a 3-city road trip for the Marlins. After this journey to Atlanta, they head to New York to play the Mets for 3. Then go home to play the Cardinals, Braves, and Giants. They've got a real rough scheduling stretch ahead of them.
But the Braves are nearing the end of a real grueling stretch for them too. Coming out of the All-Star break, the Braves had 20 straight games without a day off. It's kind of tough in July, and this is game number 16 out of those 20. They have a day off coming up between Washington and New York next Thursday.
Alex chased a bad ball and is down on strikes. 2 away for Brooks Conrad. And MLB.com is reporting that something we talked about while we were in Denver, it's apparently going to happen. Ubaldo Jimenez is going to Cleveland for 3 players and a player to be named later. That player to be named later is rumored to be Drew Pomeranz, a left-handed pitcher who was the #1 pick of the Tribe a year ago.
Well, that's 3 pretty good players. They're all at AA, so they're all on the verge of being in the big leagues. It's not like it wouldn't appear that the Rockies would have to wait a long time for any of those people.
You surprised that Ubaldo gone after a 19-game winning season last year?
Still surprised at the deal. Not at the deal, but that he was available.
No balls and a strike. The one to the screen. Hayward will trot to third. Another wild pitch. Another name of interest for Braves fans. Rafael Furcal apparently has a day to decide whether he'll accept a trade to the Cardinals. St. Louis has been looking for some shortstop upgrades.
I don't know anybody that can improve their stature any better than Hunter Pence did. He gained 31 games in the win column yesterday.
That's tough to do in one day, right?
Yes, it is. Houston had 35 wins. Phillies 66 coming into play today.
Good rip by Brooks. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Phillies 6, Pirates 4. That game's now in the 8th inning. Pittsburgh threatening. Ubaldo Jimenez pitched 1 inning tonight for Colorado. Gave up 4 runs and is apparently on his way to Cleveland. We'll keep an eye on the Arizona Diamondbacks and Dodgers. Arizona 4.5 behind the Braves in the wild card. They tee it up at 10:10 Eastern time at Dodger Stadium.
This guy's throwing pretty hard. 93 with his fastball, 84 with the slider. Some that Buck can catch, some that he can't.
This guy in Choate. Cishek tough on the righties, Choate on the lefties with that side wheeling motion. And Conrad is caught looking to end the Atlanta 8th. Braves though add a run. Eric Hinsky cracks his 10th home run of the year, the first allowed by Choate all year to a left-handed batter. And we go to the 9th. Braves 5, 4-1.
Braves enjoying a 4-run cushion thanks to some long balls tonight. Martin Prado drove in the first run with a single with 2 out, and then with 2 on, Dan Uggla, his 20th home run of the year, a launch job into left center, a 3-run homer. And then Eric Hinsky just moments ago, leading off the 8th, the first home run given up by Randy Choate to a left-handed hitter all year. That one flies out of here. Those are our Toyota plays of the game. For Hinsky, he's in double figures too. He's got 10.
And that extends the lead to 5-1. The lead too great for a save, but a chance for Craig Kimbrell to tune up, for he's another Braves reliever that has had a couple of days off. He'll answer the AT&T call to the bullpen for the first time since July 27th, where he pitched an inning and tuned up with a couple of strikeouts. Logan Morrison looks at a 97-mile-an-hour fastball.
Craig's last save, though, was on the 22nd, 8 days ago. He's been in some games since then, but not in save situations. Last night he was up, ready for a save, but the Braves got an insurance run in the 8th, and Scott Linebrink finished up instead.
And that's the delicate balance that we've talked about a couple of times tonight. Braves starting pitching has been so good. The Braves have scored their share of runs. Haven't been many save opportunities for Craig. Tonight, 2 homers, 5 runs, 5-1 lead. One saves for Craig, a Braves rookie record. More saves than any rookie before the All-Star break for Kimbrel. And now 9 saves away from tying the most ever for a full season by a rookie relief pitcher. That record 40 by Neftali Feliz of the Rangers, who did that last season when they made it all the way to the World Series. Slow roller to second. There's the first out. Morrison 0 for 4 tonight, 0 for 6 in the series, and 4 for 29 against the Braves. Hansen and Nolasco tomorrow afternoon. That'll be on Fox Sports South. First pitch 1:35. Braves will wrap up the homestand and hopefully go for a 3-game sweep.
Good contest right here between 2 good young players. Flame-throwing closer and a power-hitting kid right fielder.
This might be one of those that 10 years from now we both look back and say, boy, you remember when those 2 21-year-old kids met for the first or second time in the big leagues? Kimbrel got the best of Stanton here. Mike strikes out for the second time tonight. One more out to get in the 9th.
Four strikeouts in 52 2/3 innings now for Kimbrel.
Popped him up. Costanza in center is under it, and the Braves beat the Marlins 5-0 last night, 5-1 tonight. Tim Hudson starts it, Kimbrel finishes it, Ugla and Hinsky homer, and the Braves look for a series sweep here at home tomorrow.